Hello and welcome back to the Puck Drop Podcast. This is season 2, episode 4, and today we have a brilliant special guest that Harry had the privilege of interviewing. Number 10 for the Romford Raiders, Brandon Ayliffe. Harry, how was that interview?
That interview was absolutely amazing. I mean, Brandon was able to give us a really great insight onto his hockey career and how playing both roller hockey and ice hockey has contributed to his career. And yeah, stay tuned for that. But first, we're going to run through our Raiders news and our league news. So over to you, Brody.
So this week, last weekend, we played Telford Tigers at home on the Saturday and Hull Seahawks away on the Sunday. Saturday, when we played Telford, we beat them 7-4 with a close game in the first and second period, and then we scored and increased our lead in the third. And then on the Sunday, when we played Hull Seahawks, unfortunately, they're quite a physical team, so we weren't able to get a win there. I think we still played good, and well, yeah, there was quite a few, let's say, penalties that happened that game, wasn't there, Harry?
Yeah, but it's good to see that kind of rivalry forming that the fans love to see and love to watch. So it was unfortunately I wasn't able to watch the game as I had other commitments, but I was following along on Twitter, and yeah, it looked a feisty game, and I think there was some key penalties that would be good to talk about on the podcast.
Well, funny you mentioned that, Harry. I'm going to go through them now. So for Romford, in Romford's perspective, Mr. Joe Tomlin has had a one-game ban for getting into a fight during the period break. So there's rules in the NIHL now. I believe it's the IIHF that enforce the rule, but players involved in fighting other than during the periods of the game shall be assessed a major game misconduct penalty. So that meaning that he's gonna both him and Cohen Taylor for the Hull Seahawks are gonna get one game ban for fighting when they realistically they shouldn't have been. But I think it's still good to see Joe at a young age getting involved. And I've said this. I'm going to say now, as soon as that guy takes that cage off and puts the visor on, he's going to be an absolute menace on the ice.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to see these younger players getting into the game, getting physical and putting themselves on the line to put some points up for the team. And Joe Tomlin is a prime example of some homegrown talent that is absolutely thriving in our senior team.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think it's also nice to see because we've had Harvey Briggs also getting quite involved when he's played for us, and I think it's good to see that they're able to get stuck in and not back down from any of the, let's say, bigger players in the league.
Yeah,
talking
Harvey
about the
Briggs is
league,
doing absolutely spectacularly.
Yeah, exactly. So talking of the league, we're going to move on to our league news now. Surprisingly, the Bees beat Leeds Knights last weekend.
I was a bit shocked when I saw the scoreline.
Exactly, and we were thinking, and especially doing it on the Saturday as well, must have given them big confidence for Sunday, which unfortunately might not give them as much confidence because they did lose. But beating Leeds Knights at a stage in the season where it didn't look as if they were going to do much because they were at the bottom with Telford Tigers, but they really shocked everyone with it. There's moments. I remember getting the updates and moments saying, they actually might be able to do it, and they did. With late goals going with their second goal being a late goal in the 55th minute from Stuart Mogg. I think that's an incredible thing that Bees have done there, and I think we should definitely give them a round of applause for that.
Bees are one of those teams that I love to hate, but yeah, no, you got to tip my hat to them. It was a well fought win.
Yeah. So going through just the results from last weekend, Swindon Wildcats, Sheffield Steel Dogs on the Saturday. Steel Dogs. I think Steel Dogs are starting to really, show what they're made of, and I think they've definitely got the potential to be in the top flight of the league this year.
Yeah, I mean, having that elite league backing now, they're flying through the league. I mean, it's great to see them become so much better than they were last year. I mean, the state of the Steel Dogs last season was pretty abysmal, but it's great to see them coming back with vengeance.
Yeah. And then we're going to look. So then we had Peterborough Phantoms, Bristol Pitbulls. Peterborough Phantoms winning 6-5 in a shootout. And Milton Keynes versus Hull Steelhawks winning 8-3 there. Now, moving on to the Sunday. Sheffield Steel Dogs versus Berkshire Bees. Berkshire Bees. What am I on about? Slough Berkshire Bee Jets. Steel Dogs won 7-2 there. Leeds Knights versus Solway, 5-4 Leeds Knights. That was a close game, and I think against a team like Solway, I think it was quite another shocking result as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too sure where I'm kind of placing Solway in my head because in my mind they're a strong team, but that's just not being reflected in their gameplay at the moment. So yeah.
Peterborough Phantoms versus Milton Keynes, 4-3 Peterborough Phantoms. I think that's a very close game as well for two big powerhouse teams. And then Telford Tigers versus Pitbulls, 5-2 to the Telford Tigers. Telford finally getting a win this year. We beat them on the Saturday before. So there's a few more. Obviously, the bans that have happened this week were all from the Romford versus Hull game. One of them I haven't mentioned, number 13 for Hull Seals, David Phillips, has been given a 4-game ban for a check to the head on Adam Leishram. If I'm going to speak the truth on that thing there, I think that's worth a bit more than a 4-game ban. I think that was a really awful thing.
Yeah, no,
that happened.
That really I think it should be longer, but I don't know. I never know if it's us being biased because he's our player coach, but at the same time, that was a really bad check to the head.
Yeah, exactly. And I've seen replays of it, and I'm just thinking that's awful. What happened? And so yeah, I think I don't know if that's been if that's had the best route taken to it. I think 4 games is slightly too little. I would suggest that next time Hull play us, I think that he should not be allowed to play either. I think that should be a little bit that led into that. But yeah, I think
I'm glad they have reassessed it after the game and it's been sent to the Department of Player Safety, and he has been penalised. So, well, he's been penalised. Whether we think it's sufficiently or not, that's a different story. But it's a good thing that even if it wasn't properly caught during the game, it has been caught now.
Exactly, and I think that's definitely something that has been better this year. Is the Department of Player Safety has definitely taken a step up. I think last year there was a few things that were missed, really, and now I think they're like knuckle down and get really, they're trying to make sure that everything is taken fairly for every team. So I think now, should we say now? What's the time, Harry?
I think it's some time for some interesting league news that I'd like to add.
Oh, we didn't. I was going to lead a great bit into the interview there, but go on then. Let's hear your stuff for now.
So this is a really great piece of news out of Yorkshire. So the Leeds Knights called up Edgar Vengis, making him the first junior knight to make it to the Leeds Knights senior team, if I remember correctly. And it's great to see that Leeds are starting to push their juniors up to a national league level. And I think it's great for each team to have their junior system pumping out national league and above talent. So that was great. And my only other piece of league news that, well, not really league news, but there was a 6-year plan from Ice Hockey UK released, which I had the pleasure of reading, and you know what? It's given me a lot of hope for the future. So I'm just gonna give you some key points. So the strategy aims to unlock hidden talents across the UK, ensuring that the Great Britain team can achieve as as high as possible, and it kind of emphasizes the importance of collaboration amongst all the home nations and clubs and players and fans to strengthen the community in the sport to really drive that strong sense of community amongst everyone. And it's also focusing on making sure there's progressive pathways and development opportunities throughout the country for everyone involved in ice hockey. And there's also a kind of ambitious goal to transition from merely surviving to thriving, making sure there's significant improvements across all aspects of the sport. But it's going to be great for local communities growing the sport because it's going to bring more people in, get more people involved in the sport, which potentially means even more homegrown British talent. So yeah, that's all I have to speak about. And yeah, what do you think of the 6-year plan, Brody?
I think the 6-year plan is looking good, and there's definitely something I thought that finding hidden talent, and I think there's definitely been a few people that have emerged this year just out of nowhere that have just been brilliant, and everything finding the potential in England will not only help to grow the sport as a whole in this country, but also help grow like worldwide as well. There might be people that come over and say, "Oh, I wonder if England have ice hockey," but they might, now them know because you've got all these players coming in, all these brilliant players, and I think it's definitely I think it'll be good for the future. But anyway, I think it's interview time.
I think it is interview time.
Is it though? No, hang on. Let me think. Is it interview time?
Yeah, I think it's interview time, mate.
Right. Harry Bird over here, my brilliant co-host. He had the privilege of interviewing Romford Raiders number 10, Brandon Ayliffe. And I think we should just cut to it now and you'll hear everything about what Ayliffe has to say. Unfortunately, I couldn't be there. But yeah, I think we should cut to that now. So let's just do it.
So this week we have Brandon Ayliffe. So welcome to the podcast, Brandon. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we were really excited to get you on because we know you're quite popular amongst some of the fans because you've been playing for the club for what is it, 6 years now?
Uh, yeah, I think this about 6, 7 years now, I'd say.
Yeah. So yeah, we're excited to get this out to the fans. So should we drive straight into the questions?
Of course, let's just get it smashing. I'm excited.
So you've been with the Romford Raiders since 2018, like I said in the introduction. So, but as far as I'm aware, you haven't missed a game, or it's like only one or two. So
I've only
what?
missed one game, and that was the Swindon midweek game. And I remember that game very well because I was watching it from like the middle section, so I went with the fans. Really, I remember it. We went to shootout, and we had Marek Nalik win shootout for us, and it was a very, very feisty game. Well, as I remember.
Yeah. So you've only missed one game in your career with the Raiders. So what motivates you to maintain your consistency?
Just I just love playing hockey. Really, it's probably the only thing I'm really good at. If I'm saying honest. But yeah, it's just I just want to play as much as I possibly can. Really, just it's probably the only sport I've enjoyed since being even at a young age, just playing. And yeah, I don't really fancy missing a game. I just want to play as much as I can until my body tells me to stop or slow down.
Yeah, I mean, I know you've played for GB roller hockey and the Havering Hawks, I believe. So
Yeah, I play roller hockey in the summer as well. So as soon as ice finishes, I'm literally straight into roller season with I play with TJ Anderson as well. Um, He's on the same team as me, and we got another guy who used to be part of the Romford program, like Ewan Hill as well. So
Oh yeah.
us three, we played for the Havering Hawks in the summer, and consistently so far for the last couple of years, we've managed to go to Europe and represent not only like Great Britain but represent our club as well in the European Championships for
Yeah,
the last
that's
2 3 years.
amazing.
So it's
Do you
just
feel
literally,
the skills translate much?
uh, yeah, kind of little. Some players I've noticed who you played roller hockey use couple of skills from roller, like even like just flicking the puck out of the air. And I use roller as more of a defensive sort of game because it's quite smaller. So I play defense in roller hockey, so it helps me in my defensive positioning and defensive style of hockey to keep the game flowing and keep myself moving and just more defensive style really. And plus, it's quite quick as well with the reaction timing and like ball control as well. Where the ball's flying from the air, it's quite hard to try and tip the ball out or just batting it out of the air really. So hand-eye coordination's quite there as well.
So I I find it interesting that you're a you play defense on roller and forwards on ice hockey, but because you're quite quick on the ice, how do you use your speed to help score as many goals?
Well, I used my first position when I started playing hockey was defense. When I used to be coached by like Ben Pitchley, old Raiders player back in the old Ron Valley way days. That was my first position. Then I had another coach, Brian Bidolph. He was telling me I was a forward, so it was one of them transitions of being a forward with one coach and being a defense with one coach. So playing two roles was quite helped me in my career, I'd say. So, like you said with your question about defensive style, it's basically just get back quick enough and help out the defense, and basically just trying my best to either block shot, block a pass, and just make sure the puck is out of our area, and we're playing more offense than our defense.
So obviously you've had quite a few good moments since you first signed for the seniors in 2018, but what is your favorite moment as a Raider so far?
Oh, and I think everyone's going to know what it's going to be. It's the Coventry weekend playoff final, making it to Coventry and to be in the final. But for me, being a kid, I was like watching the Raiders in Coventry when I was younger. I think my moment would be just to scoring in the final of Coventry is a highlight of my career with the Raiders, I would
Yeah,
say.
I remember watching that game at home with my family and some of my cousins, and we weren't able to get down to Coventry unfortunately, but we could feel the atmosphere through the screen. It was immense.
Oh, it it was mental just seeing like being in the final and then mentioning like your name being called out as you're walking out onto the ice, and you just look at the arena, and then obviously you probably saw on the highlights where it just goes dark, and then all of a sudden you just see phone lights lighting up the whole arena, and it was like a special moment because obviously you look at like the highest levels of hockey, like elite league, and then also you got like NHL. What it just also it makes you feel like it's like the it almost feels like a Stanley Cup in some sort of way for British hockey in this level we're playing at. I'd say just it's a special moment, really. It's just playing for that trophy and trying to get something for the club.
Yeah, I mean, it was so great to see the Raiders go to the final. I think it was the second season I started watching them. Um, yeah, and it was crazy. And hopefully, I think under the new structure and the new coaching, I think it's definitely a possibility this season.
Oh yeah, with the group we've got is a great bunch of lads. We've got so much talent, so much firepower, this skating speed. Like I can see ourselves like where we are sitting at the table now. I know it's early to say because it's like we're only a month into the season, but with the guys we've got in the room, we've got we've got so much talent to pull something out of the bag, in which we're upsetting people already. Where loads of people in the league were saying, "Oh, we're a bottom tier team. We're not going to fight for top tier teams and stuff like that." But we've proven loads of people wrong by sitting in the top four, top five, which not like before many seasons before we're sitting like mid table already at the start of the year, not trying to get near the top. We won't be able to push it, but we've turned a lot ahead. So if we keep playing the way we are, keep fighting, and we're going to turn a lot more faces upside down.
Yeah, I mean, it was quite funny to see some of the whole fans just absolutely rattled after we beat them at home.
Yeah, it was lovely to see the the upset fans, and but they got their own back. But like you say, you can't give anything too early. It's early into the season, so we will put. There's a lot of stuff to work on still, on system wise and individual bits and bobs. Like me personally, I've got another gear in myself to push myself a bit more. But like I said, you don't want to throw everything straight away in one go. Otherwise, you're going to burn yourself out into the end of the season when it comes to the playoffs. So you got to take each game at a time, play hard, play physical, but also you want to be smart on the puck. And I've just got to make sure when I get the chance, to put that puck in the net.
Yeah, and I mean, so like I was saying earlier, sort of become one of those core Romford players. So as the teams changed and evolved over the seasons, how do you stay connected and build chemistry with your new line mates and possibly some of the ones that you've played with from old seasons as as the seasons go on and the roster changes?
There's always going to be players coming in and out, and old faces are going to be there for a while, and then one day they just won't be. So it is a little bit difficult at the start, but as the saying goes, some changes are good, which the changes that we've made may possibly been a great start for us. It's just obviously, yeah, we always message each other in the like group chats, or if you want to talk personally to someone, you can just private message them. And it's just like invite them for like meals or stuff, or we go do or something we go do during the week or something, like go play golf, or we just go out for the day and stuff like that. Them little bits away from hockey, just stay connected, because you're not only teammates, it's basically like a family sort of thing now. Like you're with each other near enough every day of the week, and it's mainly, I don't feel like you're a teammate. It's more of a family thing. You're not. We all look out for each other. We'll make sure everyone's fine. If someone's not feeling great, we'll check up on them. See like, what's going on? How you feeling? Or if someone's just bored indoors or not doing anything much, you just say, "All right, let's go do something. Let's go out." Or yeah, just anything really. Just get yourself out of the house, keep yourself busy, and everything's not always about hockey. That's the thing. It's a lifestyle, yes, but at the same time, you've got to make time for your personal life at the same time.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, it's great to hear that all of the boys on the team are looking out for each other like that.
Yeah, you gotta make sure at the end of the day, you're playing as one. You're not individuals. You play for the logo on the front, not the name on the back. That's the main thing. You're, you're not trying to put you're not trying to just score goals like you're like some next NHL player who's like trying to get his next 100 points or whatever. You're playing for the logo, and if you got to put your body on the line, you got to put your body on the line at the end of the day. Just look out for each other.
Yeah, so obviously we were saying earlier how the team's changed quite a lot. So um how do you feel the new roster is going so far?
I think the new faces and the changes we made are pretty good. Like I said, obviously the changes have been great. Really, it's a new. We're changing the club in a better way. Realistically, I think it's just yeah, it's just still getting used to a little bit some the new changes we're doing, but the changes for the better. And look at position we've put ourselves in already at the top of the league. We're seeing top five already, and I can't say much about it. If we're seeing top five already, the changes we've made must be doing something good.
Yeah, so what would you say the biggest strength of the club is at the moment?
Phone, phone off. Yeah. Pardon. Sorry, I didn't hear that. The phone just started going off.
Yeah, no worries. What would you say the biggest strength of the club is this season?
I say the biggest core is that we're all one. We're not individually. So like even in the change room, everyone's talking to each other. Either from one end of the change room to the other, everyone's talking, and it's not just like forwards are talking to forwards and D are stacking with the D and goalie sticking together. No, everyone is talking to everyone from the coaches to the equipment. Everyone's having a laugh and a joke with each other. Everyone comes in with a smile on their face when they turn up for training and game days. But soon as on game days we have a little laugh and a joke, but soon as we enter that room, everything's about the game. What you're next doing? What's this plan? What you doing next? What do you want to achieve out of that game? What is the goal for this game you want to get? And obviously everyone's going to think 2 points, yes. But even if you turn around and say something, look, I'm going to hit five, I'm going to make 5 hits today. I'm going to win at least 3, 4, 5 face-offs. I'm going to at least try and get 10 shots on net or 5 shots on net today. The little things you do like that makes you better. Or even like turn around and say, I'm going to at least make 10 passes in one game. Stuff like that. If you can set yourself a goal, then you're pushing yourself to be better than what you were the season before or this last game you played. So if you set goals, you can keep pushing yourself further.
Yeah, I mean, I think having those clear-cut goals is helpful in all aspects of life.
Yeah, it's obviously everyone. That's the whole. Everyone sees it as yeah, we just got to get more shots in it, more goals. Yeah, but the little details like the skating, if you're putting the speed in, your footwork, if your feet are keep moving, the goals are going to come. Even if it's not the first period, might not be it has to be the second. If it's not second, it has to be the third. But at the end of the day, if you don't score, there's other ways of getting yourself part of the team, making a play. Even if you made the pass, but yes, you didn't get the assist, doesn't matter. At least the goals are for the team. It's not you. Like I said, you're not playing for the shot name on the back. It's the name on the front that matters.
Yeah, so I'm gonna move on to something slightly different. So obviously Jack Cooper is now the captain. How do
Yeah.
you feel playing under his captaincy? And do you think he's stepping up to the role quite well?
Funny enough, this isn't the first time Jack's been my captain. So um, he's great leadership before Ron Valley Way closed down, Jack was the captain before. We're in the under 18s when I was playing with him back then, and he's a great captain. He knows how to talk to everyone. We can all come and talk to him about certain things. So if there's a problem in the room, you can come to him and address it. Or if you've got a personal issue that you want to talk to someone about, but you don't want to talk to the coaches, he's there to talk to. He's not a guy that you think, oh, I'm a bit weary to talk to him. He will happily sit there and spend his time talking to you about certain things and what you've what's your problems, and he'll try his best to help you. That's what he want. He's looking out for the best for you and the team at the end of the day. And yeah, he's fit for the role perfectly.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of interviewing him last week, and coming out of that, I had nothing but good things to think about the team and the way he's managing it as the captain.
Yeah, so like if the, like say like if we've had a bad game, he'll have these moments of he'll address it and say, "Look, boys, that was not our best. We got stuff lot more work to do throughout the week in training, ready for the weekend coming up." But at the same time, he knows everyone's trying to put their heart on the line for not only the goalies like Ethan, we try and our best, but at the same time, we're doing it for the coaching staff and the fans at the same time. At the end of the day, we're going to put our bodies on the line much further. We've got a lot more work to do. We've got a lot more gears to click in the upcoming weekends to push before the Christmas break. It's just if, even even it comes down to the fans, just make sure 100% put your heart and soul through the team. If you can put your efforts through the team, we're going to put our efforts on the ice. You just got to believe in what we can do. We ain't gonna win the league in one game. It's going to take a few months. Even when it comes down to the last weekend, it'll be a battle. So the league's quite tight as it is, and it's going to be like that for a while. So we ain't going to run away. We're going to just keep fighting.
So I've got one last question before we move on to the fan questions. So
Of course.
looking ahead, in your hockey career and your career with the Raiders, what do you hope to achieve with the Raiders and before you in a very, very long time retire?
Just silverware, really. Just make sure I want to be able to hang the skates on and say I gave my effort for this club. Me personally, I want to end in a Raiders shirt, my career. That's the way it looks right now, and yeah, just try and win more the silverware a lot more for the club, and hopefully either league or commentary weekend playoffs. Just bring something back for the club and say I've done what I could. That's all I can say really. It's just I put my heart out on the ice with the gold and blue on.
All right, so let's go to the fan questions. I've got quite a few, and I've got one kind of
Oh,
one kind of reoccurring question from our mascot.
oh God.
So
I'm a bit worried.
we'll kick it off with Bruce's question.
Of course.
Bruce wants to know, what do you think about the one and only Bruce the Raider?
What to say about Bruce? What to say? No, Bruce is brilliant. The way he's active with the fans and even like social media, he's brilliant. I can't take my mouth any better for that mascot because he's doing a lot more than what I know probably any other mascot in the league. I've never even seen any other mascot in the league with his own Instagram post, with his own Instagram. So yeah, I think what he's doing for the club and for the us as a team as well, when he's standing on the ice, getting the fans going, before we're coming on, he's probably the best one in the league. I'd say by miles.
All right, you can't inflate his ego too much.
No, I can't help it, unfortunately.
All right, so James wants to know, what is your top speed on the ice, or what is your best guess?
Oh, I honestly don't know. I can't. I can't put anything on it really because I've never done a speed gun test or done any sort of testing to say I'm quick. I'd I reckon I don't know actually. I can't actually say it. I don't know what my speed would be realistically. Unfortunately, if I get the chance to get a speed gun out and test it, I would.
Okay, we'll put it down to you're quite quick.
Yeah, we'll just say I'm quick. That's all I can say, really.
Um, okay, so Ted wants to know, if you could have any past teammate join the Raiders, who would it be and why?
Ah, ah, mm, what past teammates you'd say?
Yep, past teammate.
Oh God, there's been there's been too many. To I there's so many I've played with that I'd say personally Matt Turner because one the creativity with his hands was phenomenal. At one point, I was even following his stick tape job, which was going through quite a few rolls of tape. Yeah, everyone used to moan about how much tape was used to push just for the stick alone. But yeah, Matt Turner, because the creativity he was on the ice was just phenomenal, and his hand was just crazy in my eyes. He was someone I kind of looked up to in a way as well.
And I've got a similar question from James Emerton. Um, who is the best import you've played with?
Oh, that's just gonna be sore. You can't.
All right. Top three.
All right, top three. Matt Gomatic. Um, see, like with Shuri and Millsy as well, like them two as well are crazy. Like they shoot hard as well. I've got bruises from Millsy just to prove it. I've got one on my leg at the moment from Millsy, and that he shoots so hard, and it's a bullet that which you don't want to be in the way of. And Shuey, he's just phenomenal, both of them. But I can't. It's too early to call because we ain't had a full season with them, but yeah, I think them three really it's them three. The Canadian trio.
Um, so and Harley wants to know if you could import one current NHL player into the Raiders, who are you picking?
McDavid. I think everyone
Well,
would probably pick that McDavid.
yeah, to be fair, I mean, quite a lot of the forwards in the NHL would just absolutely tear up our league. So
Yeah, exactly. So you can't really say anyone, but I think 9 times out of 10, most people either pick McDavid or Bedard, if I'm being honest.
yeah,
Or you got the third one, McKinnon.
yeah. Um, and I think this is our last question from a fan. Freya wants to know how do you think Leishram is as a coach?
He's brilliant as a coach. Like changing the style of what us British players normally get taught is a massive change to not me personally to my game because he's teaching us stuff that or not teaching us he's bringing back stuff what we would think we would normally do. So I think he's bringing more North American style hockey, Canadian hockey for us to play instead of just standard British hockey, which is a massive effect in our game, which is we're proving a lot more
All right.
by like also by like we've only lost 2 games so far, which at this start early into the season, which is a massive boost for the whole team and the club.
Yeah, I mean, I think this early on this time last season, I don't think it was looking as
No,
great as it is now.
no, it weren't. We was probably mid-table, nearly bottom. I would say at one point we were probably before the Christmas break we were like second for bottom, third for bottom. To be top five before the if we can stay top five at least by Christmas break, that would be unreal. Just to this, just proving to other people as well that you're not walking over us. We're making if you're coming to Romford or we're coming to you, it's gonna be it's gonna be a game. Sorry
I
for my
mean,
language.
it's all
I mean,
right.
for there. But yeah,
Um,
it's going to be one gritty Romford hockey. We're going to, yeah, more like we even us. We're probably going to come out battered and bruised, but it's Romford style hockey. We're going to be gritty. We're going to be in your face. Yeah, we're not going to let anyone walk over us.
I mean, it's great to see us tied with what I would say is one of the powerhouses of the league, Milton Keynes. We're both sat on 7 games played and 10 points. So
Yeah, we always we've got a table up in the room of the league as well, and it gets updated every week. And just I've seen on social media as well. The top we're tied for third or fourth, I think it is, and to be tied with the likes of MK and I think it's Peterborough, I believe.
um,
I'm not I'm not
yeah,
quite
we're
sure.
we're tied with Peterborough, but we have a game in hand.
So yeah, so to be tied with just MK alone because they like you said they're a powerhouse club. But yeah, I would say I like our chances. Yes, we the first game of the season against them. It's their barn. It's a different. It's a different style. Going to their club is a massive bias, and obviously it's the first game. We ain't gonna play to best, but to be in the game with them the whole time is not a serious loss. We just had to try and get that puck in there, which they were stand. Their defense is strong. We just need to find new ways of getting into that slot and trying to put the puck in.
So I think that pretty much wraps it up for today's interview. So thanks for coming on, Brandon. It was a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure to be on the podcast.
Next weekend, and by the way, thank you very much for Brandon Ayliffe for doing an interview there. It was brilliant to listen to. Next weekend, well, as far as I know, there's a bit of ice hockey being played.
Up and down the country, I think, as well.
Yeah, it might be, yeah. Romford Raiders have Sheffield Steel Dogs away on Saturday. And, well, actually, hang on. At the time of this being released, it will be the day that we're playing Sheffield Steel Dogs.
That is indeed right.
That is right, yeah. I'm just trying to get it around my head. And then we will play Berkshire Bees at the time of you listening to this. We'll be playing them tomorrow. So I think that's one hard game and one little bit on the easier game. But you never know what happens.
I have to say, I'm extremely excited to play the Bees after seeing what they managed to achieve against Leeds.
It's going to be an interesting one. We might take it to overtime again. You don't know. We could take it to overtime. It's quite a classic Romford thing to do.
I don't think my heart can handle another overtime.
This weekend, game-wise, it's not like huge teams playing huge teams. I think like it's a bit more. Another big game, which is happening today, at the time of listening, is Leeds Knights versus Hull Seahawks. Yeah, that's the only one that I feel is a bit bigger than usual. They play each other twice actually. They play each other tomorrow as well. Yeah. I think we're gonna have an interesting weekend this weekend for Raiders. Obviously we've not got Joe Tomlin today. I don't know who else is going to be out. We'll have to see at the time. But yeah, I don't know if I should break the convention slightly and just mention that next week we have got Leeds Knights.
I think it's okay to break convention sometimes.
I just don't know if one's going to go well.
I mean, hey, if Bees can do it, we can do it, eh?
Oh yeah, and news. If anyone's watching the stream for the Romford Raiders versus Leeds Knights game, you're going to hear my voice for that entire game because I am commentating for that game. So if I'm going to say a well advanced notice here. If any of the Leeds fans are listening, and if they're listening to this podcast and they're going to watch the stream, I am so sorry if I get some of your players' names wrong. It's my first proper time commentating. Don't take the piss. Romford fans and Romford players, you're fine. I know every single one of your names off by heart. Now they're definitely just going to bring in a whole bunch of different players that I don't know. But yeah, and then what else is on my little list of things? Yeah, well, that was about it. Just who we're playing, what I think is going to happen.
We'd like to give a shout out to all of you guys who listened to our podcast at the time of recording last Sunday, helping us to reach number 7 in the Apple Podcast Great British Hockey Podcast genre. So yeah, that was absolutely massive. We would also like to give a shout out to whoever is listening to our podcast in the USA, because we
listening in the US.
We somehow managed to get very, very low down on the US hockey podcast charts. So shout out whoever's listening in the US. Anyway, I think that's about it for today's episode. We'd like to thank you all for listening. Brody, do you have any closing comments for the episode?
Yeah. Thank you very much to Brandon Ayliffe again for joining us. We'll probably see you at something whenever. And if you do like our podcast, then you might as well go and, I know, you can go recommend it to your mate, your nan, your granddad, anyone.
Huck's cheeky little follow on all of our social media platforms.
Exactly. If I hear that someone's nan has followed us, I'm going to be very happy.
Shout out to
Yeah.
all the nans listening to GP Puck Drop.
Do you know what? Shout out to all the ice hockey out there. There you go. That's our appreciation for the week, is that we are going to shout out to all the ice hockey nans. You're doing a brilliant job. Next week will be the granddads. Bill Cooper, getting a shout out there. Bill Cooper. Anyway, thanks so much for joining us. I've been Harry. Have I? Was I Harry? I've been Brady. That's been Harry. And we'll see you next week when there's probably another special guest here, and I don't know who it is because I'm behind on the times and Harry does all the work. Goodbye.